Hi, I'm Brian,
And I'm Tom.
and we are the Dividend Dudes.
This is the video where we are going to talk about the actual stock we purchased.
Yay.
We went through the first two videos, talked about how we find the stocks, how we pick them, and then how we kind of analyze them down to the nitty gritty.
Narrow them down.
And now we're at the time where we're ready to buy.
You have made it.
You've made it. If you've watched the previous two videos, thank you. We appreciate that.
All right.
Makes me feel loved.
Yeah, me too.
A warm
Make sure you
feeling
like and
inside.
subscribe. Like and subscribe, because that helps us with the algorithm.
Like and
Helps us-
subscribe.
Like and scribe. Like scribe. Like scribe. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. It's been a long day.
We appreciate the viewers watching the videos. So
Every single one all 27 of you.
all 27. So there is a drum roll. We're gonna do a drum
Drum
roll.
roll, please. There'll be a sound effect somewhere around. So we purchased RIO.
Yep, that was the one we did
Darn
this time.
straight.
So we'll post our estimated annual income down below, and there was some reasons behind why we purchased RIO over the other stocks. Namely, it's a dividend.
It's a decent dividend too, and even if it goes down a couple percent, it's still a great dividend.
But they all pay dividends, right? So it's not like all the stocks that hit the last five, they all pay dividends. So just so you know, too, the companies that didn't make the cut to make the final purchase, we're probably going to put them on next month's list. Just to say,
They're all good companies, and if you purchased any one of those, it's not a bad choice.
yeah, the hard part when you get to this is we can only pick one. We only have $400 per month because we're starting. Basically, Brian and I started all over for you, so you could see how we did it, how you can do it too.
You could play along at the home game.
Yep, and at this point, Rio, financially, the CIO actually, their numbers went crazy.
Yeah.
Chevron,
Chevron.
18. It's
18
just
billion or
$18
something like
billion
that.
increase. Numerically, there was a lot of things that made some of these companies look really good, but there was just something that stood about RIO that we liked. How to find that stuff. We had to go into the news articles. We had to look at, what's the ticker symbol. Actually, I'm going to say it again.
Ticker symbol.
Ticker symbol. Second time I said it, 20 videos in. At this point, when the companies were this close, we had to look at the ticker symbol to see what it was doing relative to its past performance. Why do we look at the news articles? Well, because the finances don't tell you what's happening tomorrow. They don't
Right.
have any indication of what the company's doing right now. It's always what they did in the past.
Right.
So before you actually looked at the articles, it was really kind of confusing to see, well, they all look good. Which one should I buy? So by the time we got to the news articles, so I had asked Brian to look at some of that. He pulled some of that stuff up for me, and we looked at it together, and we came to this conclusion based on some of the stuff we were seeing in the articles. There's also some safety net stuff behind Rio. A good example, like if you're going to buy Tesla, they're an automotive manufacturer. Rio's a mining company. But if you're going to buy Tesla and you're going to say, hey, electric cars are the next big thing, okay, fine.
What do they need? They need batteries. What are batteries made of?
Precious
metals.
Yep. And the interesting thing too is Biden passed a law, like a bill, not a law, but he passed a bill that basically gave you a tax credit for electric vehicles. And on this tax bill, not a single car on the market today supposedly meets the criteria for the credit, the tax credit. So in order to build those cars, you need precious metals, and right now there's a lot of geopolitical conflict going on in China and Russia and Ukraine and Taiwan, and some of the stuff comes from over there. So in this case, Rio had a pretty strong position to help these companies develop these cars. So if you look at our portfolio, our income is up to almost $100 per year.
I know, right?
And we did get 2 dividend checks. This month we actually got 2 of them, which was like $8 or just under that.
Just under.
So we're actually getting some income now. Rio brings it to that now, and I think it's important for people to have a long dramatic pause to understand the significance of this. If you invested in AT&T with us, the very first month, it was $400. Your dividends are $100 per year. So if you got a car loan and you had to pay it off in 4 years, basically this is very similar. Your AT&T investment is now going to be paid off from dividends within 4 years' time.
Did that sink in yet?
We're only 5 months in, folks. We haven't gone that far, and already we're starting to see some fruits from our labors. So Rio's a differentiated company. it's a different business. So we have AT&T, it's a telecom company. We've got Merck Pharmaceuticals, a medical kind of company. We've got General Dynamics, they're a defense contractor.
They make war. They make war happen.
They do. It's not a good thing, but we need it. So the next company we're going to buy is like a fuzzy, warm company that does no evil.
Little fuzzy bunnies.
They'll be perfect. They won't make any money, but they'll be perfect morally.
Yes.
So the last company we have on the list that just before this purchase was Coca-Cola. It's a consumer beverage company. So we're pretty well diversified. As this comes into view over the next year, some of the way we pick stocks is going to pivot a little bit because we actually have enough industry diversification to start looking at the industry specifically. Right now, we're just pulling them out of the list that we've got and finding the one that looks the best in the list. Well, as that portfolio builds, you don't want to just have 500 stocks that pay dividends. It's like an index fund.
Right.
I mean, you want to find a few that you understand that are doing really well, focus in on those. Because, again, thank you for not sending me a list of 500 companies that pay dividends. But that helps you understand that what you're buying, what the business is actually doing. So when we came to Rio, and we looked at the news articles, we found some stuff with CIL, found some stuff with Devon Energy that didn't quite look quite right in terms of the short term.
Right.
In the long term, these companies are all probably doing just fine, especially one that had just ridiculous amounts of net income increase over the short period of time.
Yeah. And it's not bad in the form of we would never buy these. We just don't want to buy it right now.
Yep.
We just want to hold them and see in the future where they're going to go with it.
Yeah, and so you'll see these companies come up again, and we encourage people because we are purchasing a stock this time around. That gives us a month to analyze the next time. So if you're in there, post some comments of the stocks you would like us to analyze. And we'll do it. We'll add it to the list. We'll see how they come. And CIO was actually one that was a recommendation from our viewers.
Yeah, and it made it to the final cut.
And it did. And we'll have it in the next one. So maybe it'll look pretty good then too. But in that case, it's important to see what's happening and how we're doing this evaluation. Not just from the news articles that we're doing, but for the income that we're gaining. We're not buying. I mean, Brian and I are both tech guys. We work in IT, or we worked in IT.
Right. And if you were with us with video one, we told you to buy what you know.
And we haven't bought any stocks. There's no tech stocks. So.
And like you said, AT&T is close, but it's not a Cisco or Intel or
Microsoft
Apple
or anything. Yeah, right. Yeah. So what we're trying to do with that, because we're nerdy tech guys, is we're trying to find staple-based companies to protect our principal investment. We don't want to lose the money that we've worked hard for to put into this portfolio. So we're trying to diversify within that, and we're trying to buy companies that produce products or manufacture, or what we would consider boring companies.
Mining. He got me that. He got me earlier. So now we've come full circle.
We've come full circle. Boring. Mining company. Rio's a mining company. Boring. Never mind. I give up.
Thank you, Elon Musk.
He did that. That was very intentional, probably.
Yeah, it's got a boring company.
So we bought mining. We'll probably start getting into some of those companies. But again, when we do that and we take some of the riskier assets later on, you're going to have to come back to these initial videos to understand how we're funding that. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take the dividend check that we're getting, and we're going to just reinvest it into the next business, which helps gain traction. It's going to help grow this more quickly.
Right. And instead of 2 shares of something, we could buy 3 shares of whatever, or 5, and it'll just keep going up. We can buy more and more, which gives us more and more dividends, which gives us more and more money to buy more stocks.
It does, but the platform we're on, it was one that Brian and I went to decide to pick that. Okay, we're going to pick a platform that neither he nor I use, just to start fresh. So we picked TD Ameritrade, and it's got some pretty cool stuff in it, but
not a bad platform, especially for beginners, because it has this whole training side of it that will teach you a lot of things that you want to know as well.
It's actually a good platform for that. I will admit, when I looked at it, I was like, oh, there's all this stuff here. It's kind of neat.
But it has one stark pitfall.
Here's the but. You cannot buy fractional shares. You can sell fractional shares, but you can't buy them. So even though we would
So disappointed in you, TD Ameritrade.
we wanted to buy $400 and now we can't because they don't let you. But you can sell them, so you can buy one share, and then you have to sell 2.14869 whatever it is. Can you imagine the accountants on the other side?
No. I don't want to.
How do you figure that out? Because what do you do with when it doesn't hit one and the number doesn't equal?
They round up.
So
I don't know. Now, with that said, fear not, because Charles Schwab purchased TD Ameritrade. So by September of 2023, next year, this is 2022.
It could be different.
Charles Schwab will have integrated TD Ameritrade accounts into theirs, which they do fractional shares. You could buy fractional shares with them. So if you have an account on TD Ameritrade, fear not. And there is a platform where you can go into TD Ameritrade or into Charles Schwab, make an account, and then have your TD Ameritrade portfolio imported into it. But if you do it now, you won't get your history. You'll lose it. So I would just wait until they do it automatically, and then all your TD Ameritrade history trades will go into that.
And if you're looking at a portfolio to purchase, my personal portfolio uses E-Trade. You use Robinhood, don't you?
Yeah, I started out with Robinhood.
Yeah.
It was great, and then I moved to Fidelity.
Okay, so he's got Fidelity, I've got E-Trade and one other, and then this particular portfolio, if you're looking at the screenshot of our net income per month that we started back, if you want to figure out how we did it, go back a few videos, you'll see it, but this is actually the TD Ameritrade account. So you can kind of see how that all came to fruition, but that's what we're using here for everybody here, and we did it because we wanted to start over for you. I mean, this is, if you want to know how we did it, this is how we did it.
Right.
So we have to start fresh, and this is how we're starting fresh. So.
And again, if you're playing along with a home game, then you can do exactly what we're doing. We are not investors. We don't.
Well, we are investors, but we're not financial advisors.
We're not financial advisors. There we go. We are not financial advisors, nor yours. So we have no claims as to what you were doing, all the
speak to your
credits.
financial advisor first. Just because we're jumping off the cliff, it doesn't mean you have to either. And on that note, if we're making a recommendation, we actually purchase a stock, and you guys are like, no, you idiots, why'd you do that? Please tell us.
Yeah.
We
comment.
Yep, we
Comment
appreciate.
Put what you would have purchased. Give us a stock, then we'll evaluate it on our next videos when we're doing them.
Here's why. Not everybody has to agree on everything. I think culture today says everybody has to be a monoculture where everybody agrees on everything all the time. We don't have to agree, and we can still be friends, and things can work. That's okay.
Yeah.
In the course of purchasing stocks, having other sets of eyes on this and having other people analyze this is a good thing.
Right.
This allows us to maybe you'll pick up on something we didn't. Maybe you'll see something and, oh, hey, we didn't realize that. Maybe we should have pulled that back or did something. But, without having that discussion or having that ability to actually sit down and talk about it or even look at it, and please don't troll each other in the comments, but without actually being able to see that conversation, there's only a couple minds here. So if you add more to that, that's a good thing.
And I want to build a community where everybody helps each other to get rich.
Like a utopia.
Yeah.
Dividend dude utopia.
Why not?
There's a little rainbow that goes above
We'll be the
butterflies.
first ones to actually build a utopia. It works.
A nerd utopia. Oh, that's scary.
Financial nerds unite.
It's almost like there's Star Wars logos above us.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there actually are. Yeah. We were nerds.
Anyway. So yeah, comment below, give us your stock picks. It helps.
Yeah,
It'll give us more, and as this grows and we get more and more, we're going to need them.
Yep, we're going to need them because eventually we'll get diversified enough where we have to start looking at the industry specific stocks. And again, if you're doing this and you're buying these stocks, buy this with money that you can afford to lose. Because if you've learning anything this year, the stock market does this.
It is volatile.
It's very volatile. Over the course of a long period of time, pull up an index fund, S&P 500, Dow. They grow. It's very stable in their growth, partly because of what the Fed does and how all
Yep.
this stuff works within the industry and inflation, and just businesses making profits.
And if you have purchased, don't panic, don't sell, hang on to that unless you need to make a payment on something, then sell it and keep yourself safe. But if you don't need that money, don't sell it. Otherwise, you're going to realize the loss that we've said 1,000 times before in other videos. Don't realize the loss unless you have to.
And then you're not paying the lower capital gains tax rates, you're paying the bigger one. So
And this bear market will eventually grow to be a bull market again, and you'll get your money back.
Yep, and you can actually see at the bottom of the screenshot, there's a total market value and estimated annual income. If you look at what the portfolio's done, we couldn't buy because we can't buy the fractional shares, we haven't really lost any money. So remember, the stock market is doing awful this year. If our portfolio is flat, that should say something. But we're only in month 5. This is just the very beginning. We're not always correct, so we appreciate the discourse. We appreciate, the people recommending things. We'll happily look at the stocks. We'll come up with a whole nother list next month. You can buy those with us. You can analyze them with us, or you can just criticize us the whole time like an armchair general.
And if you
That's fine too.
give us a stock pick and you put it in the comments, we put it in our list and it makes the cut and we purchase that, maybe we'll put your name in lights.
Name and lights?
I don't know. We
Like
can't,
Las Vegas style?
can't give them money or anything.
Should
but
like the Price is Right. It's like
we have
viewer 23, come on down.
got 791. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What are we gonna give them? Recognition.
Recognition. Bragging rights.
Yep.
Bragging rights.
You picked this stock.
You picked
We purchased it.
Yes.
Good job.
So we have 94, 92 per year. That's the estimated income. By the way, on Rio stock, as we wrap this up, it says it pays 11% dividend. When we looked at all the stocks in coagulation, we're not really expecting them to hold 11% on their dividend. We're expecting them to decrease it. But even if they went down to like 8%, I mean, you're still comparing this against Devon Energy Corp and some of the other ones. None of the other ones on that list paid that high of a dividend.
Right.
So even if they decrease, if you look at their finances and all the previous metrics that we looked at, that's only going to help their numbers look better. So it's a great number here. And like I said, next time we'll probably buy something a little bit more staple good. But that's what we have. That's what we picked this month. We hope you like it. We hope you subscribe. That helps us out.
Help us with the algorithm.
Yep,
hit that bell so you get notified.
And we'll see you in the next video.
As always,
Happy investing.
happy investing.